talking about Starfield. I've played over 100 hours of Starfield now. I've now beaten the game. I played the game as organically as I could. I did a bunch of the side quests. I haven't done all of them. I scoured many planets. I even call one home now. I've traveled through the Aquila Desert. I've gotten high off of Aurora. I've gotten addicted to Amp. I've seen all the gear I could. I've shot as many weapons as I could. I've ended many lives. I drive a sea-level spaceship. I've encountered the bugs. I've looked into the eyes of strange, lifeless faces. I've dredged through the mundane main storyline. And I've even fallen in love. I think it's safe to say that I've experienced Starfield for what it is, but I didn't fall in love with the companion, I fell in love with Starfield. Yes, I liked Starfield. Is there problems with it? Abso-fucking-lutely. I feel like my experience with Starfield was like going on a blind date. Like your friends have hyped her up, you've seen pictures of her, she looks pretty great, but how's it gonna go when we get to know each other? If you've seen part 1 of my live stream with Starfield, you'll know that my blind date was pretty tongue-tied on arrival. Dude. I was like, whoa, is everything okay? Can I make you more comfortable? Can I buy you an $850 graphics card? That seemed to work, but as I got to know him, boy are there so many red flags, it's unbelievable. Quick commercial break. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video and supporting my channel. Guys, let's talk about them. Manscaped sent me their Performance Package 4.0, which is an all-in-one men's grooming kit for body hair removal from head to tippy toe. This here is the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It's a wireless and waterproof trimmer that can be used anywhere on your body. I'll demonstrate its premium trim on my face. We are on YouTube, so I can't show you my twig and berries. Wait, which card did I use on my No, it was this one. Also, since it's waterproof, that means you can save time and use it in the shower. It's got ceramic blades that reduces nicks and cuts, and it lasts up to 90 minutes on a single charge. And that's just my face. Just wait till you see my balls. There's 2 products I never knew I would need, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner and the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. Genuinely, these are some of the nicest smelling products I've ever had, and they are going all over my nether regions. There's also the Weed Whacker 2.0, the nose and ear hair trimmer, which is a must when you have an annoyingly hairy beak like mine. And that's not all. For a limited time, when you purchase the Performance Package 4.0 kit, you get 2 free gifts and a newspaper. Paper. You get the Shed travel bag made from luxurious leather and the official Manscaped anti-chafe boxer briefs, which I'm not kidding, these are the softest underwear I've ever held in my life. Go to manscaped.com today and use my promo code on screen to get 20% off plus free international shipping. And back to the video. The game is in a lot of ways kind of terrible, but it does have a lot to it, like talking about exploring.
Set it in space.
In majesty of space exploration.
Space exploration is possible thanks to your ship.
You can do pretty much anything. When you leave a planet and head into space, you never know what you'll find. Because we want to give you freedom on a galactic level. It's all out there.
Because the choice of where to go, it's not ours, it's yours.
The space exploring space. Exploring what space? You explore the atmosphere of some planets and then you just fast travel everywhere. That took the space out of my sails, if you know what I'm saying. During the Direct, I know that we saw the reveal of some of these cutscenes, like when you're landing your ship or taking off, but I did not expect there to be a loading screen every 10 seconds. Cutscenes going into space, cutscenes going out of space, cutscenes while docking, loading screens going to another side of a facility, loading screen going into a cave, loading screen going inside of a building, loading screen going into a spaceship, cutscene standing up from your cockpit, cutscene on the subway. Everything is a cutscene, everything is a loading screen, nothing seems seamless, nothing seems immersive because of all these breakages in our gameplay. A perfect example is anytime you dock a ship. I do not understand why we had to have so many loading screens in this short experience. When you board a ship, you have to go through a docking cinematic, which why couldn't that just be live gameplay? Then you have to get up from your cockpit, watch that cinematic, then walk over to the docking door, then click the docking door, then load onto their ship. Why was it like this? Why couldn't it be as you're, fine, I'll give you the docking sequence. When that's happening, why couldn't you have loaded the interior of the other ship? Does it take more than 3 seconds to load a small spaceship? I feel like it's Bethesda's job to be the most innovative here when it comes to being the AAA studio behind the latest space game. But I feel like the game is absolutely kneecapped, falling behind so many games from indie studios that are just destroying it on the space exploration front. Like, you know how No Man's Sky does like the anime space lines as you're traveling to another planet? Like, we couldn't have something like that just to at least travel in the same solar system with like grav drive melty colors around us? Planets are a whole nother ball of wax. I had a hunch that there would be a catch with all this planet-wide space exploring.
Where you weren't really limited in where you could go.
Like, bro, not at any point did you mention the invisible walls. They totally hid that. I'm pissed about it. However, I will say this. I've run a lot in this game. Way too much, actually. and I never ran into a wall. And people are saying like, you walk for 3 minutes and you'll run into it. That is not true. It is a big ass area. But even with the invisible walls, you are still running through a lot of barren wasteland. What does that remind me of? There's no way they would just make a barren wasteland for miles and miles with nothing fun going on. And I hope I don't have to cut back to this clip in a future video about Starfield. And the invisible walls immediately break the immersion. I've heard Todd talk about that feeling of being on a lonely planet out in space on this desolate moon and seeing a planet like right there, and like, you can just go to that.
That isn't just a backdrop. That moon is actually there orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too.
You can't fucking go to that. I thought the direct was pretty transparent, but I could feel it. I could feel that they were hiding some stuff, especially with like, hey, how did we dock onto the ship? How did we get onto this planet? Where are all the fucking vehicles? The problem is having no vehicles. That is a pain in the ass. And using your boost pack that's basically just farting out flames every couple seconds. Why could we not have a cool ass Anakin Skywalker speeder? Like you hit a button on the back of your starship and like a speeder comes out and folds out, and then you go and fly over the rocks and stuff. You have great lighting on these planets. How sick would it be at having that sunset moment as Anakin Skywalker goes and butchers those families? I want to have that same moment too. I loved bouncing around on a moon with zero gravity. That was genuinely cool, and adding combat to the whole situation is an absolute plus. But because there's no vehicles, I also got addicted to drugs. I needed agility. So what did I turn to? Amp. First it was the amp. I loved it. It was so great. I loved running around like a maniac. It made me feel amazing. But then I started looking for something else. I need some more power. What can I get? Then I turned to the skull. Skull got me powered. I'm breaking things. And then next thing you know, I'm hopped up on Frostwolf. At that point, I am a lost cause. I am addicted, and it's Todd Howard's fault. Do I have to say this is a joke? Also, what the f is going on with this map? Did anybody else totally think that this was like a glitch? Like one of the many bugs in Starfield? What is this dotted line grid crap? You can't give me any sort of color or anything? I thought the map was a bug because I dealt with so many bugs in this game. I've been hearing so many people saying that this is the least buggiest Bethesda game yet. What Aurora, are you smoking, dog? Here's a crazy bug of all these spaceships floating around. Characters trying to be the Flash and like vibrate through material. Hey Sarah, where are you going sitting down moving around like that? The game has to like close out the world and open it all the way back up every time you leave the inventory, which by the way, is about every 10 seconds. So I had this crazy ass visual bug happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And before I modded the game, I had to deal with these slow ass menus. Dude, the mods saved this game for me, man. I almost let go. And then the mods just brought me right back in. You wanna know why? There's an amazing modding community. Thank you to all the modders. Starfield UI, you are amazing. You launched on like day one and like 10x what the Bethesda user interface team did. Undelayed menus saved the looting experience for me. And I'll provide a list of the other mods that I used down below in my description. I highly recommend using Mod Organizer 2 and installing them. They will literally increase your fun that you're having in Starfield by like 50%. By the way, they made these mods on like day one. Hey, Bethesda team, what the hell are you doing? It's crazy that these mods can be pumped out in day one and just fix like half of the game's problems, when I know that Bethesda is gonna take months to add a fucking eat button. I had a bug so bad that I couldn't leave this starship that I was basically on to do a heist with the pirates. And as I was leaving, after I killed a bunch of innocent people, had a great time, I went to leave and the door was stuck. And then I was like, okay, let me just load my last save. Door is still stuck. Let me restart the game. Door is still stuck. And all my autosaves overwrote while I was going through this spaceship. So guess what? Your boy had to go into the console commands and teleport myself to the lodge to get out of the place. Luckily, I have used Kakwa smoke before in my the hell was that? Guns. I think they did a great job on the guns in this game. I like the way they look, except for some of the guns, like the Lawgiver looks like an anteater. But dude, all the like the mag pulse guns, like all the laser sights, really great. The sound design is good. I like that the sound changes with the environment that you're in. They sound great, they feel great. They could have felt better if there was a gore system. I wanted to see people's limbs blown off. I wanted to see the bullets in the head and through the body. Well, actually, you do see them in the body, you don't see them in the head. See, that's what's weird, you don't see them in the head. Let me shoot somebody in the head, let me see it. Let me see this motherfucker die right in front of me. I am very excited for a mod to come out where they add even more weapons. You can do a lot with weapons, I like their crafting capabilities. No big complaints in the guns department. I thought, well, let me just back that up. Lasers are like pretty much ineffective. I did not like that. Some guns feel way overpowered than others. But overall, I kind of did what I want. I like that. Now let's talk melee weapons. They are so underpowered, it's unbelievable. I definitely need a mod for this where they make them somewhat viable as a source of damage. I think I saw a stat that they do 1/4 of the end game's guns comparatively. It's a fucking joke. There is no sprint attack. There is no dash attack. There is no dodge. Every time you approach an enemy with a melee attack, they shower you with bullets. Having to use the resistant to bullets power or whatever is a must-have, and it totally blocks all of your frontal view. Most importantly, the melee combat is so slow. I hate just like sprinting up to a character and then like stopping to do my animation nice and slowly, and it to have like zero effect on anybody that's above the level 5. There's not enough armors in this game, man. There's not enough errands in this game. Sorry, I'm whining so much. There's literally like, I think like around 10 maybe, and then a lot that kind of look like each other, and then a lot that are literally duplicates of each other, but different color changes. I think the Mantis gear is like the only unique looking piece of gear, and I didn't wear it because I didn't want to look like a fucking future dentist. And also, if you go into the bathroom of where you find the Mantis gear, there's a freaking Tracer's suit in there that's like a level 30 piece of gear. It's amazing. I wore that like 30% of the game. And the apparel gear, oh, you gotta be kidding me with this. That is some of the ugliest gear I've ever seen in my life. And the gear, I don't really like the puffy look that they went for so many of the gears. I don't like looking like the fucking Michelin Man. I like these sleek, cooler suits, but there's only like 4 of them in the game. Throughout this game, you're gonna be looting and looting and looting like crazy. And when you loot, you go through their menus, which yes, I have said that their UI design is pretty beautiful, but their UX design is fucking atrocious. When you're on your starship and you go to your inventory, which no, you don't have to go to your computer cargo hold, you can just go to your inventory and then hit Q, I think it is, to go to your cargo hold. Now you're in between your cargo hold and your ship's inventory. Would this be much easier to understand if you just had 2 menus side by side, seeing how they're interacting with each other? Absolutely! Is there a space for it? Completely! Did they choose to do that? No! The hotkeys alone, it just confused the hell out of me. The equipped button from your inventory is B. For some reason, once you're in your starship inventory, the hotkey that was once to equip that item that you really like, now is the key to jettison that item into the ether, aka destroy forever. By the way, if you don't know what jettison means, it means to shoot out of your vehicle. I'll use it in a sentence. I took my Mantis gear, and while going through my inventory, accidentally jettisoned my 1-of-1 Mantis gear into space, never to see it again. Cool! By the way, if you don't know, you can get into your cargo hold even outside of your spaceship, under about 250 meters. The way you do it is so ass backwards. You have to go to your player screen, then you go to the bottom left quadrant, select that, you'll see your ship. At the bottom right corner, you'll see a small button that says cargo hold. You go into there, and then you click Q to go to your inventory. Now you can grab items and bring them into your cargo hold. Isn't that simple? And there's just so many conflicts that happen while in these menus, like entering the inventory sometimes isn't the same button to leave the inventory. Hey, you can bypass this by holding tab. Yeah, I'd rather just tap one button to get me back into the game, not hold to like wait and then get back into the game. You morons! Let's talk character customization. I actually liked the character customization. A lot of my points from the Starfield Direct are valid. The beards look crappy. It's hard to avoid having bitch hips. This is one of those times that I was able to create a character that actually looked a lot like me. I don't know, you guys be the judge. I think I did a pretty decent job. Definitely got the nose down. I mean, that is me from the side. Is that not me? It was funny, at one point I recognized that the character that I made had the exact same body type as me, aka thin muscles and a high metabolism. The eyes in the game are terrifying, and I'm not talking about NPCs, we'll get there. That's like the only thing that I couldn't get right is my eyeballs. And when it comes to the traits, you can kind of pick your persona. I went with the space scoundrel. Everybody in my live stream wanted me to be the chef. I should have just done it as the joke because it doesn't really affect your gameplay, but instead I made a compromise and named my character Chef.
My name is Chef.
And I don't know about these traits, but I feel like everybody, like we all chose these 3, right? Wanted, Meet Your Parents, and The Adoring Fan. I feel like the other ones don't have interactivity in the world. They're more of like passive bonuses and negatives. Going through the character creator did get my hopes up for what the people were gonna look like in game. And for the most part, people did surprise me at how good they looked at some moments. Lighting really has a drastic effect on how people are gonna look. And if you're not talking directly to them, yes, they do look psychopathic. Especially the people on Neon, they look absolutely insane, especially when they're wearing hats like this. Whoever came up with this hat design, don't make hats anymore. I actually think this was a bug. There's just a naked guy walking around in Neon. What the hell is this guy doing?
Whoa.
The game can look really good, convincingly good at a lot of points, especially if the game is running smoothly, which you are gonna need a heavy ass PC to be able to run this properly, and a good amount of mods. But jumping around the moon was so cool looking, and the ambient lighting really is a good sell. You definitely need to get the mod that turns off the filters, because all the dark colors in the game are just so light, and it's hard to even like look at the game or see things a lot of the time.
It's like hard to look at this game though sometimes. Like it's like the blacks aren't dark enough.
And they like chose not to add a gamma slider in the game. What? Once you take the filter off, the game looks like literally twice as good. A lot of the planet's surface textures look pretty muddy, and I think they could have looked a lot better here, but there is a lot of variation, and I appreciate that. The alien life is pretty varied. Some of them are like ridiculously strong and have that whole Mirelurk King thing where they shoot an invisible beam at you and it kills you really quick. That's super annoying, and I wish that Bethesda would stop doing that with some of their creatures. I played the game on hard, by the way, and I'm actually not super against this whole some enemies being bullet sponges idea. Most enemies aren't, and you can like down them within 1 or 2 shots. Some of the most fun times in the game for me were just mowing down people and watching ragdolls drop left and right. Truly, it was. I was trying to be a bad guy, which kind of leads nicely into the story. So the main quest starts off extraordinarily slow and uninteresting. The artifacts, the rocks, the mission of the constellation just didn't grab me, straight up. And it takes a while for you to be able to separate yourself from the story to go do whatever you want. And I was pretty much dead on. Everybody in Constellation has like the best intentions in the world. Even Walter, by the way. Sam Coe was the one kind of person that I was looking forward to being my partner, but you have to be a babysitter if you want Sam Coe with you because he has a kid. It's like, finally, I got my gunslinger sidekick, but oh, hey, do you have another book I can read? No, get out of my hair.
I like books about quantum theory and astrophysics.
I'm trying to literally kill as many people as I can in this game. Andy calls her Gumdrop, which is the worst. Little spoiler alert, but also it's seen in the trailer, you do eventually get powers, like space powers. And I think the idea of these are cool, but honestly, I really didn't use them many times because they were either very ineffective, extremely cheap, like the gravity lift up effect. I feel like I'm just shooting a lifeless pinata, and the AI are already pretty stupid, so this is like, dude, do you really need that much help? And then you have something like the Grav Dash, which I'm like, yes, we have something that can finally ease the suffering of traveling on foot. Nope. If you're using it in midair, it immediately drops you to the floor. And if you use it, it ends up basically stopping your sprint regardless. You're just gonna go faster sprinting. And there's even attack powers like this solar flare move that was really cool at first, but once you're past level 10, it becomes basically useless. I also thought they really dropped the ball on how you acquire the powers. You basically just go to Victor. Is that his name? Vladimir? You ask him where the powers are. He tells you exactly the location where they are. You go to the planet, you walk up to the temple, you go and float around and collect this stardust, and then it explodes, and then you get a new power, and then you take off and do it again. And you do that like 12 times. And none of the temples changed, they all look identical. Don't you remember in Skyrim how like every Dragonborn shout was like an entire dungeon, and then there was usually a boss at the end of it that you kill, and then you get the power because you just defeated this whole dungeon and that boss? It's like you achieved something and here's your reward. With the powers, it's like, good job, you fast traveled. Very nice. That was very difficult to find this one. And I will say, once you start Constellation's quest of gathering the powers, I just wanted to gather the powers and then be done with Constellation, honestly. I did end up finishing the story. It has a couple of interesting twists, but it's all pretty shallow. All the high concept ideas in Starfield remain pretty shallow. And a lot of the decisions you make end up having low to no consequences about the rest of the world. Like I did a quest where I went to a science facility and basically they were doing experiments that accidentally led to people being able to shift universes. At the end of the quest, you're able to choose between these people in this universe, which is yours, or go with this guy and enter his universe and keep on going. I chose what I thought would be the interesting choice and went with this guy in this different universe to see what kind of things had changed in the rest of the world. You know what changed? Absolutely fucking nothing. No armor colors of this world changed, nobody's haircuts changed, nobody's dialogue or personalities changed whatsoever, nothing. There's also an interesting side quest where you can basically meet like a 2001 Space Odyssey super AI, and I chose what I thought would be the most interesting idea of killing all the humans on board and letting this super AI free. And you know what happened after I completed the quest? It grav-dragged away and I never saw it again. Didn't affect anything. I will say the side quests are what intrigue me the most with Starfield. Eventually you kind of get the game loop and understand it, but there's always an adventure of the hundreds of side quests that are in the game that you can go and explore and see what kind of unique stories that you can experience. I've stopped bounty hunters in the middle of their pursuit after a mark and like gotten into a gunfight in a saloon. I really loved when I went onto this abandoned spaceship that felt almost haunted. They even added little music moments, like a violin scratch or whatever, whenever you find like a haunting image. And there was like sounds behind me where it felt like a ghost was behind me.
Jesus, Vasco. Are you just trying to scare me?
That felt very unique and cool and almost like Dead Spacey. I did think the storytelling in general, though, mainly plays it safe. There's not any huge decisions where it just completely changes the game dynamics. And I feel like the whole Constellation quest was just so handled with kid gloves and bubble wrapped and like, this is an adventure for the love of humankind and all this kind of just, like, this is a rated M game. Can we have something a little darker? Can the people that made Starfield look at something like Blade Runner 2049 or Dune or 2001 Space Odyssey or something like Looper? Space has a lot of dark Lovecraftian themes. What if our technology gets too advanced and runs loose on us? One hole in a starcraft and everybody on board dies, possibly meeting alien species and realizing we're not the only sentient thing on this world. Most of Starfield, you're also like murdering thousands of people on end, which I very much appreciate. I like fighting in these games. But like in the end, it's like all about going to the mystery of the center of the universe to figure out why we're all connected. And everything's so saturated and colorful. And have you guys been to the club in Neon? I'm sorry, has the Bethesda team ever been to a real club? There's like 10 people on the dance floor. Have you seen John Wick? Have you seen Collateral? Give me a real club scene. Give me people doing crazy Aurora drugs in the bathroom. Let's watch people get their hands cut off for some bad gambling deal or something. I don't know, just like something. Neon, like it felt like, oh, it's such a dangerous, scummy city, but it just felt so, one, it felt small, and two, it felt like there was no more threat than any other place I've been to in the world. I don't know if I'm alone here, but I was skipping a lot of dialogue in this game. And I actually don't even mean that I'm not paying attention. I'm reading it, but the delivery of so many lines are so slow. And every time a full line gets done, there's like a full second pause before the next line pops up and the person delivers their lines.
Never heard any stories about a gal bank ship going down. And even if it had happened, it would have been picked clean years.
It'd also be a lot more intriguing if the faces weren't so animatronic and lifeless and didn't overuse the shit out of the eyebrow raising mechanic. Everybody is talking like this all the time. There's also companions in the game, which I did like Vasco a lot.
Nice. Way to go, Vasco.
He does get in the way a lot. He's a big, obtuse guy. But I thought he was cute. I thought his humor was done well. Just like the armor and stuff in the game, like surfaces that are on people look so good. Like the textures on Vasco are great. He looks so detailed and I love the little physics on him. But having human companions is another story. I think it's always interesting, the love dynamics that they've added into Bethesda games. I've never been attracted to this aspect of the game, especially with the lifeless delivery. It's hard to even get really serious with somebody when I can't believe any interaction I have with them. And I believe that they made everybody bisexual in the game, which, you know, is cool. Like if you're gay and you want to like be with Sam Coe because he's that cool bounty hunter guy, I get that. I like that the option is there for everybody. But this does make it so that I can't seem to have one regular platonic friendship with anybody because everybody's kind of gay. Everybody's always kind of hitting on you or just getting really sentimental with you for some reason. I'll just be traveling with Sam Coe and I'll be like, hey, can you hold these guns for me for a second? And he'll just be like, sure. Hey, by the way, I've been meaning to tell you how much I've enjoyed spending time with you. I've never really met anyone like you. I don't know, this might sound corny, but you're just special to me. I probably sound crazy. It's like, yeah, dude, thanks for holding my guns this whole time. And you know what the biggest problem with Starfield is? This is bigger than any other issue, bigger than any bug, bigger than anything. This game was sold with the idea that you could be who you want to be, do what you want to do in this game. That is a lie. I can't tell you how many times in this game it stopped me from doing what I actually wanted to do. Especially if you're not gonna be the purest, best, pacifist good guy in the game. And I got a bunch of examples together where this game does not let you do what you want to do. I wanted to be a neutral, evil space bounty hunter, a Han Solo type that only cared about himself. I wanted to be a selfish prick, but I wanted to have fun doing it. I wanted to be able to kill anybody that crossed me. I wanted to be dangerous. But this game doesn't let you kill almost anyone. Anybody that has a name, they will get downed. Any person that's part of a quest anywhere in the game, you cannot kill until the game allows you to kill them. I was in a pirate heist one time. I wanted to kill a guy who had evidence on him that I needed to grab. I get him into his room, I close the door behind him, even my companion comes in with me, get out my silenced gun, shoot him in the back of the head, grab the evidence, walk outside the door. All the guards on the spaceship have been alerted. What? I was like, fine, maybe it's just on that guy. I'll just use the persuasion option. That's way more fun. Get the evidence, and then I'm basically told on that same spaceship to assassinate somebody because he's a shithead.
Well.
And I'm like, awesome. Go to that guy's room, close the door behind me, shoot him immediately in the head. All the guards are alerted once again. Whether I shoot this guy in his room privately alone or I blow his brains out in the center of the ballroom, everybody knows about it apparently. I just wanted to be like Tom Cruise in Collateral where it's like, bang, bang. I wish the game just had some balls. Like, just let me kill any of the side characters.
If I were to kill her, like what happens? No. See, I can't kill her. You can't kill anybody in this game.
I understand main central Sarah characters that are part of the main quest, but any side quest should definitely let you just be able to kill them. And then if you kill somebody, much like the way you fail quests in The Witcher, it just tells you quest lost and it name a bunch of the quests that they were connected to. And maybe it doesn't fail the quest completely. Maybe that option with that person available just isn't there anymore. It'll make me want to play the game again and then see what that character had to offer. Or maybe I'll look up a video about 10 most important quests in the game or interesting quests and I'll be like, oh, I killed that guy that time. Let me play the game again. On that spaceship alone where I was told to assassinate that guy, I also like tried to kill 4 more people. Everybody just got down. I tried to kill people that were trying to kill me. Like this woman out of nowhere wielding the freaking double-barreled shotgun. I couldn't shoot her in the face. Am I ever going to see that woman again? Also, right before that quest ended, I talked to the guy that basically set up the mission and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm taking part of the cut. And I was like, oh, are you really? Bang, shoot him in the head, just like the Joker. Nope, he also got down. Great. You want another example? Try this one on for size. There's 2 forces in the game, the UC and the Space Pirates. Basically, the Imperials and the Stormcloaks. There's a part in that quest where you choose which side you're gonna be on, but it starts with you being an inside man for the UC into the pirate squad. The UC is basically like, hey, you're gonna be doing all these pirate missions, but don't kill anybody or don't do anything bad, okay? And I'm like, shut up, I kill everyone. They give me a slap on the wrist multiple times, but eventually I broke the camel's back, which was murdering an entire facility of innocent engineers.
I killed her.
Gosh, it was so fun. It was just a blast, let me tell you. But the UC was like, what the hell, man? You are under arrest. You're going to prison for a long time. And I was like, you'll never take me alive. And I just started slaughtering the entire place, killing everybody on board. But guess who didn't get killed? The main UC guy, his co-captain, anybody with a name, Alex, this guy with cool armor. And every room that I went into, I would walk into, they'd spawn in behind me with full health and I'd have to down them again. And I understand that the argument against being able to kill everybody is like, well, if you kill everybody right there, then you're gonna miss the crescendo moment of the giant space battle between the UC and the pirates, which is cool. But how about you give me the option to have a crescendo moment that is exactly what I did, which is being on a spaceship, murdering an entire fleet. Anyway, I ended up killing everybody and downing everybody that I could, and then I left the spaceship, but when you leave the UC spaceship, there's like 50 spaceships that immediately target your grav drive and you can't leave. And I was like, oh shit. And then I thought about it for a second, I'm like, oh, maybe the game is trying to get me arrested because they're trying to put me on a cool quest where there's like a prison break from the pirates saving me from the prison. You wanna know what happens next? They arrest me, the screen goes black, I wake up in New Atlantis, 1 day has passed, and I'm a free man. That's it. It is literally that exact SpongeBob moment of like, have fun rotting in that cell.
Okay, time's up. Now get out.
And it's interesting to note, usually when you're arrested, you get a bunch of XP taken away. But in this case specifically, you don't get any experience taken away. It's almost like the game developers knew that they didn't just want to penalize you for taking a story beat, but because of this, there's no consequence to this arrest. I just go straight back to the pirates and then we just fucking destroyed the entire UC fleet. They had me under arrest. Another aspect of not being able to do what you want to do is every time your companion overreacts for a pretty normal ass decision or a decision that just lines up with your character. There's this one time where Samco was my companion, we're out in space, bounty hunters show up. I kill a bunch of bounty hunters, the last one, I blast out their engines, I go up, I dock them, I get on board, and everybody on board of this bounty hunter ship was named like crew staff. Like they looked like normal people on board, but they're bounty hunters and they had their guns out, and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna kill all you. You're all bounty hunters, right? I loot everything. I turn around. Sam Coe's right there, and he's like, "You're a cold-blooded murderer." And I'm like, they literally were trying to kill us 10 seconds ago. What are you talking about? He's angry with me. He has left my party. That has happened so many times with so many different companions in this stupid game. Sam Coe calls me a cold-blooded murderer there, but when I'm killing the entire factory of innocent Gen Tech engineers, doesn't seem to bat an eye for him there.
This is my favorite part. You flat out murdered someone. I did not sign up for that.
There's also just weird things. I was on Neon, and there's this girl that I'm supposed to talk to, and I knew I had the option to kill her. So I just walked in, shoot her, immediately everybody starts attacking me. And I'm like, oh, gosh, all right, reload the save. I go and talk to her. Hey, how you doing? Yep, I can attack you? Okay, let's fight. Back up, shoot her in the head. No one cares. And there's just a bunch of incidents like this, like having so many ships that are on the ground be inaccessible for some reason, so I can't just steal them. Or if you want to like go on a Marauder's spaceship and just enter the docking bay as they take off, the game just glitches out. The most egregious example I've seen of the game not letting me do what I want to do in the game was when I was on a starship and I basically had to steal a uniform to get access to another level of the starship. I end up finding it. It's in front of a no-named guard. He has no name. I get into his little security room with him. I pull out my silenced pistol. I shoot him in the back of the head as a space scoundrel would. He dies. No alarm trip this time. I was like, wow, I'm actually able to do what I want to do here. I go and try to grab the uniform. Click A. Nothing. Click A again. Nothing.
I can't pick it up now? Why? Dude, this game is so like limiting. Why can't I just do the thing? I clearly killed this guy in silence, and now I can't steal this?
The game stopped me because he has a little jokey part in this quest. I'm supposed to go to the cafeteria and get him a sandwich that has pepper on it. And he doesn't like pepper. And so he gets mad at the cafeteria guy, and that's when I steal the uniform. The game stopped me from being able to pick up a uniform because of a pepper joke. Come on! So no, you can't be who you want to be in Starfield. That is a lie. I had fun with Starfield. Was I expecting more from Bethesda? Not really. Ever since the fall of 76, my expectations have been lowered. For a billion-dollar studio, should they definitely be way more ahead of the game? Absolutely. But I am having fun with Starfield. I'm past 100 hours and I'm still enjoying the game. Let me say this about Starfield. It's very easy to nitpick and point at the negative because there's so many aspects of the game, there's so many territories where things can go wrong. And things have gone wrong in so many different places, but everything kind of all works together and there is so much to do that it can keep you engaged for a while if you can get past some things. A lot of people are gonna be lost at the story. A lot of people are gonna be lost from all the bugs. A lot of people aren't gonna play it because the game is not optimized. But if you're a casual gamer, you're probably not gonna notice a lot of these things and it's gonna feel like another Skyrim with a new coat of paint to you because it definitely does hit that game loop design of doing a quest and going and exploring and going and finding this base and completing that base and killing everybody and getting new gear. I was extraordinarily let down by the travel systems and the exploring of space that isn't that, but it still has that pumping heart of a Bethesda RPG that I did fall in love with forever ago. And somehow it sunk its teeth back into me. I can't even like put that into words necessarily of why it worked for me. My best friend hated Starfield, bought it and refunded it 3 full times. And every time he complained to me why he didn't want to play it again, I was like, I agree with everything you're saying. For some reason, it's working for me. And you know what kind of bums me out like the most because of this whole situation is the fact that I'm not really looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6 nearly as much as I have in the past now that I've played Starfield and seen where things are at. Are you guys really gonna use the creation engine again? Like, please don't. Please switch things up so we can be blown away by your next video game that is probably 6 years away. I am a completely different person since Skyrim came out. It's just wild how long it's been. It's been over 12 years now. My light just went out, so I am gonna wrap this up now. That's the new timer for you have been babbling on for too long. I think you guys get it. You get my opinion on Starfield. There is a lot of things to do in Starfield. I still totally recommend Starfield, but it could have been a perfect game. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate your support for watching stuff. I just recently opened Savers Arcade, so you can get some merch there. You guys can follow me on Instagram. You guys can subscribe to me on here. You can support me on Patreon. I appreciate all of it. You don't have to do any of it. If you got this far, that means you watched the video, and that's what I appreciate the most. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and next video is a pretty special announcement.